All right. How is everybody?
Doing very good.
I thought about this since John booked Mr. Baker to be on the show. I'm like, I don't even know where to start to do this introduction. This is normally what he does. So I'm not quite sure where to go with it, but we're honored, we're privileged. I'd like to give him a warm Dagwood's welcome. They ate ahead of time, so I think the food was okay.
Oh, it was outstanding. What a great, we'll be back. We'll be back.
There you go. There you go. Well, hopefully we got a late arriving crowd and they're all stuck in the traffic on 95. So normally the room is packed, but we're still going to have some fun.
Thank you.
We do things a little bit differently. We try to have as much fun as possible. I'm going to throw it over to Lauren to explain our raffle situation tonight because it has a little bit of a personal twist to it. The family is in the house, so it's near and dear to all of our hearts. Lauren, take it away.
So tonight's raffle, for those of you who maybe have never been here before, you've gotten your 2 free ones already, but then we sell additional ones for $1 a piece, and all the money tonight that we raise will go to the Pearson Powerhouse. The family sitting right to my right there, if they put their hands up, right there. Their family member passed away last month from ALS, so all the money raised goes to the ALS Hope Foundation. They're actually walking this Sunday in that. And I think they've raised close to $18,000 already.
Wow. Very good.
For this,
Very, very good.
so all the money from the raffles tonight will go to that. Separately, Carl's Cards has already made a $1,000 donation from raffles that we actually sold at a Reading Phillies game last month as well. So tonight we'll just add on to that. Am I divulging the exclusive photos?
Absolutely, you can do that.
No, roll right into it because we want to get the crowd fired up.
All right. Also tonight, we do trivia throughout the night as well. So if you win one of our trivia questions, you'll get one of these as your prize, which is an exclusive Dan Baker 50th anniversary season double-sided photo. So we had these made exclusively for tonight, so you won't get these anywhere else. If you aren't as successful in winning the trivia, we are selling these, taking a $25 donation for one, and once again, all the money raised through these photos will go back to Pearson Powerhouse as well. So that's what we got going on tonight.
Very good. Very, very good.
So, I mean, like I said, this ALS thing, hits home for probably all of us, right? We know somebody. And hopefully,
Honey,
the little bit of contribution that we do.
This is for
goes
raffle
a long
tickets.
way.
Could you give them to my
So,
wife? Or
it's just a small part of what we do with our CCC charity family. So we're totally on board with it. There's some great prizes over there. I'm sure somebody would like to go home with a Richie Ashburn autograph, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How about a Bobby Abreu jersey?
Woo.
There you go.
Boy, they're
Right?
great.
There's some great prizes there, and
Heavy hitters.
like I said, all the money's going back to the Pearson family, and we're gonna have some fun. So hopefully John didn't make the decisions too difficult. This has been a problem around here with trivia. I don't know how well you know John. I know you guys go back a few years.
Yes.
But
Both
you
with
know.
John and his sister,
wow.
Kathy.
So, do we have any Drexel people in the house?
There you go. We got a couple up there.
Thank you.
So, we're not going to talk Temple then, right?
Oh, I'm a Temple guy too.
Hey,
I'm a Big Five guy. Big
Big
Five
Five, everybody.
and Drexel. LaSalle, St. Joe, Temple, and Villanova, and Drexel.
Anything Philadelphia.
Anything Philadelphia.
I don't think there's a Philadelphia team that you haven't been representative with.
I've
You thought
I
touched them all.
talked to Gene Banks this afternoon. I broadcast Gene. I coached Gene Banks in the 5th grade
Wow.
at the Landreth Elementary School at 23rd and Federal, and of course he went on to be the top high school player in the country in 1977 at West Philadelphia High School for Joe Goldenberg, and then an All-American at Duke, and he played in the NBA for 8 years until he was injured.
Wow. Very good.
Gene Banks, and he's going to be coming in the final Phillies home weekend, and he's going to be my guest at the Phillies game on either Friday, September 23rd versus Atlanta, or Saturday the 24th.
Very nice.
So while we're, I was going to save this for later, but it's a great segue. Philly basketball. Talk to us a little bit about it, because you've touched the lives of quite a few athletes. Philly basketball is huge.
Philadelphia basketball is huge. The Big Five, there's nothing like it.
No.
We're the only city in the country that has this wonderful tradition of playing a round robin for the City Series championship among LaSalle, Penn, St. Joe, Temple, and Villanova. I think we should include Drexel.
Right.
I wish that we, but I have to tell you, I don't like the term City Six. The Big Ten doesn't have 10.
Right.
And a lot of these other conferences. Put Drexel in, still call it the Big Five, because there's marketing and promotional value in that wonderful name.
Right.
And by the way, speaking of college basketball, one of my college basketball teammates is here tonight, Milt Fredericks. Milt and Rose
There you go.
Fredericks were kind enough to drive my wife and me to Dagwood's pub tonight. And we were the starting backcourt at Glassboro State JV for a couple of years, 64-65 and 65-66. And in our freshman year, we had the honor of playing before Bill Bradley's last home game at Princeton at Dillon Gym.
There you go.
And so I have a little college basketball connection. I suited varsity for 3 games as a sophomore, and I was such a good player that I didn't get in a single game. But I had a front row seat when we played Philadelphia Textile
There you go.
with Cleveland Smith. It was another great textile team. So I have a great appreciation for the Big Five, for our Division 2s and 3s, Cheney and Widener. And of course, Phil Martelli went to Widener. Phil Martelli was at my night at the ballpark Friday, August 5th, as was Jay Wright, a longtime great head coach at Villanova,
Yeah.
4 Final Fours, 2 national championships. John, Fran Dunphy, the winningest coach in Penn basketball history, and who succeeded the legendary John Cheney at Temple, and did a fabulous job there also, and is now the head coach at his alma mater, the LaSalle Explorers.
Yeah.
Also, thanks to Joe Tierney for being here, who works all the Phillies home games, and Dr. Frank Close, whose wedding I announced 13 years ago.
Very good. There you go.
So, go Phillies!
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's talk about the Phillies. How did everything get started with you being the public address announcer?
Well, I was a pretty good baseball player as a youth and pretty good basketball player, but not nearly good enough to play professionally. My first love was to be a Phillies player myself. I lack ability in a lot of areas. Baseball is one of them, although I was fairly decent compared to most. but I loved it so much. After my father, Ed Baker, took my brother Rick and me to Connie Mack Stadium, and we saw all that green grass, and my gosh, that big Valentine scoreboard in right center. And I was there the night that Wes Covington hit a fly ball into the clock, which they reprised in The Natural with Robert Redford. My gosh. But I thought to myself, John and Carl, how could what could I do that I could be here on an every night basis since I'm not a good enough baseball player? I thought, you know what? I can talk, and I know the game, and I can talk in front of any. Thanks to my mom and dad, I was always a good public speaker, and I was selected for high school assemblies to be the host, and all along the way, I was, selected for this when other people were shy or nervous about speaking in front of, groups.
Yeah.
I could talk in front of anybody. I don't care how many people. I don't care where. I don't care when. I've introduced presidents of the United States 4 times. I've done 13 Army-Navy football games, 5 World Series, 3 NFC championship games. I don't care. I can talk. I don't care who's listening.
You're kind of like Ron Jaworski giving away all my trivia.
I'm sorry. And I'm grateful for your invitation to be here tonight, John, and hope that I will do you justice.
Absolutely.
You've already laid the groundwork because we got a table back there, and it happens to be our host table, and they're one of the biggest cheaters in the world.
They cheat all the time.
Study.
I gotta go study some more.
They're teachers. They're teachers. So
Yeah, they're educators. We trust our kids with these people. Look at this.
and they cheat.
I'm a former teacher. I taught at the Landreth Elementary School at 23rd and Federal in the School District of Philadelphia for 10 years, from 1968 to 1978. When the district closed that school in a cost-cutting move, all of my children were black, by the way. I adored them, and I think they liked me too. And when that neighborhood has changed again, by the way. We have a very diverse population in Philadelphia, and I'm proud of each and every one of you. From there, I went to the Smith School at 19th and Wharton. That's where Kareem Towns, who was one of LaSalle's all-time basketball greats, went to elementary school, and whose games I broadcast when he was a LaSalle Explorer. So I have much to be thankful for. This city is great. I appreciate education. My beautiful wife, Kathy, is here, along with Milton Rose Fredericks, right here. And our son, Darren, is a 7th grade language arts teacher at the West Deptford Middle School.
Very good.
And he does a great job there. And we're so proud of him and our daughter, Courtney. And Darren went to LaSalle undergrad, Wilmington University Graduate School in Delaware. Our daughter Courtney went to Boston College undergrad, and she went to Drexel University, John, accelerated nursing program, and graduated magna cum laude from both BC and Drexel.
Wow.
And she's now a mother of a 2-year-old.
There you go.
I told you he needed no introduction, none whatsoever.
No.
By the way, just to bring everybody up to speed, he does the Bull Show every Monday at the Hard Rock down on Market Street in Philadelphia. So I don't think it's any secret that Bull had some surgery today. You want to bring us up to date on what you can possibly tell the people?
Greg Luzinski, one of the greatest sluggers in Phillies history, and a terrific radio partner for the last 15 years, had a complex surgery on vertebrae in his neck early this morning. He had to be at the hospital at 4:45.
Wow.
And I'm proud to say that Greg has been in touch. The surgery went well. In fact, Greg asked my wife Kathy and me what channel at Jefferson Hospital the Phillies game is on, because he wants to watch it tonight.
He's back and ready.
And that was a great victory last night, by the way,
Yes.
over Alcantara for the Phils. But the bull came through the surgery beautifully, and he's been in pain for the last couple of years. And this was something that had to be addressed. And despite that, as you know, John, he hardly ever misses a bull session. And he's a Philadelphia sports treasure. And I'll tell you, he hit the longest home run that I ever saw. I've been doing the Phillies public address announcing for 50 years. Actually, this is my 51st. But the longest home run I ever saw at the Vet or Citizens Bank Park was that guided missile that Greg Luzinski hit off of Bert Hooton of the Houston Astros in May of 1972. It's still rising when it hit the Liberty Bell off the facing of the upper deck in dead center field at the Vet.
That's an impressive shot.
So the bull is doing well, and the show will continue.
Well,
Don't give away any secrets.
yes. Well, I won't then. But I can tell you that next Monday, the bull session, we have 2 more regular season bull sessions to go, September 19th and September 26th. Trying to get Charlie Manuel for the 19th. Don't have a confirmation yet, and Larry Bower for the 26th. As you know, John and Carl, getting guests is not always the easiest.
No, it's not.
And I invest a lot of time, as does Greg Luzinski, in trying to get the best guests that we can to appear live.
Right.
We could get the greatest guests in the world to be on with us by phone every week.
Yeah.
But just like Dagwood's Pub wants you to bring in people in person, the Hard Rock Cafe, who's kind enough to host our radio show on WBCB 1490 AM and 107.3 FM, they want us to bring our guests there in person in hopes of bringing in a nice live audience.
Yep.
Like you guys have done tonight. And so
Well, they're here for you, not us.
well,
They could care less
Maybe-
about us, trust me.
maybe because it's me that explains the empty seats.
No.
It's an honor to have you, and it's amazing. I think, speaking for all Phillies fans, we get in our seats early, waiting for the early announcements and the lineups and everything that you bring to the field that day. Talk to us a little bit about your game day preparation. It's got to be, I mean, just listening to you for 15 minutes. I mean, you got a book on all this, right? You've got this all figured out.
Well, if I don't have it figured out after 50 years, I'm a dumb son of a gun, I'll tell you that. Well, maybe I am a dumb son of a gun anyway, but I loved it.
Yeah.
And I get to the ballpark every game 2 hours in advance. I go through my scripts. I go through the rosters of the Phillies and whoever the opponent is for that night, and make sure that I know how to correctly pronounce every name on that roster. The cardinal rule, first rule in PA announcing is to make sure that you can pronounce everybody's name properly. And I can't tell you how many times over the years I've heard arenas or auditoriums, civic centers mispronounced.
Right.
You can't do that. I'm also not a yeller, or I can emote. I know when to emote. I know when not to emote. Uh, you can't always raise your voice. You can't talk so loud or scream that you're unintelligible, because you're there to provide a service.
Right.
You're providing information quickly, concisely, accurately. And I've tried to uh, emulate people like Bob Shepard of the New York Yankees, uh, who I observed on multiple occasions early in my career, uh, to try to observe and perform like him, knowing that he was the best in the business. Incidentally, he's one of only two announcers in the history of Major League Baseball with more seniority than me. One is Pat Piper, 59 years with the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field, which opened as Wickham Park in Chicago with the 1916 baseball season. The other, hello! the other is the great Bob Shepard of New York Yankees fame, who started in 1951 and retired following the 2007 season at the age of 97.
Wow.
Those are the only two announcers in the history of Major League Baseball with more seniority than me.
And very good. And there goes the rest of our trivia for tonight.
No, you go right in. I'm sorry.
There goes our host. Ginny, I was going to have you on the show tonight. You're all embarrassed. Oh, I'm sorry.
Not the first time and not the last.
There you go.
I thought maybe it was the drink you gave Patrick earlier.
Yeah, he quickly passed that off. I saw that. I saw that.
Can they hear this PA downstairs in the main dining room?
They do not.
That's a shame, because maybe we could get some of them to come up and buy some from you.
Absolutely.
It's such a worthwhile cause, and I wish you the best with it. Anything else, guys?
I was just getting ready to throw it to Lauren, and I think this gentleman back here might have a question with the green shirt on.
Yeah, I don't know if you get it, Joey. A lawyer involved that Citizens Bank.
Yes.
What would be your favorite call?
Favorite call at Citizens Bank Park?
Well, the favorite call at Veterans Stadium and Citizens Bank Park is the final game of the 1980 World Series, when the Phillies won their first World Series championship, an organization that began in 1883. It took 97 years, but we won our first World Series championship in 1980. And then in 2008, we won our second. And incidentally, I have been so lucky in life. And announcing the Phillies, announcing the Eagles, announcing the Big Five, announcing Drexel, the Army-Navy football game, the Philadelphia Adams soccer, Philadelphia Blazers hockey. And I'll bet you didn't know this. I texted John today. I was the backup ring announcer for the WWF, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, in 67 and 68.
All right, so much for trivia night.
In this corner, he weighs 265 pounds in the green tights. The heavyweight champion of the world, Bruno Sammartino.
I think Dan's just helping us out with the, having everybody buy them for charity.
I think Dan realizes we're just a bunch of rookies.
No, not at all. I'm honored to be here, and I think John will tell you that. As a matter of fact, you were kind enough to invite me earlier, John. I've had 24 operations for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And there's been some significant medical challenges. I wanted to join you earlier, but I had major surgery July 15th and 16th and August 12th. And I tried to space them out so they were during times when the Phillies are out of town, so I wouldn't miss a Phillies game, which is my priority. And I've done over 4,000 Phillies games, ladies and gentlemen, and since 1972. And I've missed, I'm going to say, 36, I've missed maybe 38 games in all those years.
Wow. Yeah, that's very good.
You writing this all down, Jenny?
He's been studying
I
too.
think that's on my cheat sheet.
You guys go to the same school?
I also entertain. Gotta dance.
Lauren, what do you got?
So we've got somebody on Facebook asking, do you collect any sports memorabilia over your years with the Phillies?
Oh, do I? Oh my goodness. Ask my wife. We have our den. We took our 4th bedroom years ago and made it into a den office. Every single piece of wall space is covered. I have so many, and when the Phillies were kind enough to honor me for 50 years of PA announcing on Friday, August 5th, they gave me, John Middleton, the general managing partner, gave me this wonderful bronze microphone with inscribed Dan Baker 50th anniversary, presented by the Phillies. They also gave me a Phillies jersey with my name on it, Baker 50 for 50 years, autographed by many members of the Phillies Wall of Fame. We have some great stuff. And I was telling Milt Fredericks, my wonderful teammate, I'm probably going to donate it to the college. I have no more display space. So does somebody get some use out of it. It's a significant collection. And maybe as a incentive for a future Glassboro State rowing student, I'll give it to them.
That's very nice.
Is there do you have a favorite piece in that collection, would you say?
Dick Allen bat, Greg Luzinski bat, Mike Schmidt bat. I'm not going to give those to the college. They're staying with the Bakers.
Something in common there. They hit an awful lot of home runs.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I have Joe Morgan, Pete Rose, and if I say anything more, I'm going to set myself up for theft.
You got the alarm on the house here.
But no, I'm very lucky, Lauren. We are, I should say, we. When I talk about my collection, it is our collection. And my wife Kathy worked for the Phillies for 10 years. She was their top when she was there. She was the right-hand man of Dave Montgomery for marketing and sales. And she has an autographed, personalized ball from Steve Carlton and bats from the 80 World Series with her name on it. And there's another bat in there, maybe 76 All-Star game, Kath. I think you have a couple of bats there. But anyway, we have some nice pieces. And
How about the World Series rings?
I have one here tonight. I put it in my pocket so I wouldn't get any raw shrimp or oysters on it here. But here it is. This is a nice piece too.
In 2008.
Yeah. This is staying at home too. By the way, this is going to go to one of the children eventually, you know. But hey, listen, I plan for another 10 years so that I have the record for
There you
most
go.
seniority
That's it.
of any PA announcer in Major League history. And I'll tell you one thing. After all these surgeries and all the medical challenges, just like Milt Fredericks, I have remained active. I walk a lot. I used to jog a lot. I swam. I played a lot of team sports. I think it helped me to overcome some of these medical challenges. And I haven't exercised too much for the last 2 months, but I'm starting to feel good again. And I'm ready to get out there and exercise. And I'll tell you one thing. You just listen to me if the Phillies get a postseason home game.
Not
There
if.
you go.
I'm going to help. Well, see, the thing of it is, I think, John, guys, we're going into the postseason.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
that first series, though, it's going to
All the road.
October 7th, 8th, 9th, best of three, either at Atlanta or New York,
It's gonna
Mets,
be in New
or
York.
at St. Louis.
It'll be at New York, and we're winning.
I like the sounds of that.
We're beating the Mets.
Well,
It's gonna be like the '83 with the Dodgers. We couldn't beat the Dodgers during the regular season, and we beat them in the
I
playoffs.
like the sound.
That's what's happening.
MVP of the 1983 National League Championship Series, number 34, Gary Matthews.
Yeah.
Another good friend.
Oh yeah.
Laura, you got another question?
We do, but this time it's from the audience.
Hi, Dan. First of all, congratulations on your 50 years. Nobody does it better than you.
And the top of the evening to you, Mr. O'Brien.
What is your funniest moment during your announcing over those years?
Well, I've had a few of them. One of them happened in the mid-'70s, and he was one of my favorites. It involves Willie Montanez. And Willie was number 27. In 1971, he had 30 home runs, and he was part of the Dick Allen trade from the Phillies to the Cardinals. And when Kurt Flood wouldn't come here, anyway, we got Willie Montanez. Great season in 1971. We eventually traded him for Gary Maddox. Great trade there. So the Phillies are playing the San Francisco Giants. And I don't make a whole lot of mistakes as a PA announcer, although I do make my share of mistakes in many other areas. So I'm getting ready to introduce Willie the Philly, Montanez. And I said, now batting for the Phillies, number 27, first baseman, Willie McCovey. And Willie Montanez looks like this. He turns in the batter's box, steps up. And, the next day I'm down on the field as I am. I'm the only PA announcer in Major League Baseball that does the lineups from on the field.
Right.
That's the way Bill Giles and Dave Montgomery wanted it. So he comes up to me and he hugs me from behind. He said, Montanez. I said, Willie, I'm so sorry. I had a brain cramp. But, there's this wonderful friend in Wilmington, Delaware named Drew Davis, who does all this research into my career. Many things I don't know. Like, I've introduced 74 members of the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, one of whom is Willie McCovey. It's funny along the way. One time I introduced Johnny Bench, also a member of Baseball's Hall of Fame. And of course, I always assumed that Johnny was catching, but near the end of his career, he played first base once in a while.
Yeah.
And now batting for Cincinnati, number 5 catcher Johnny Bench. But he was playing first base. So I didn't correct myself. I didn't want to sound like a nut. But the next time he came up, I did have the right position. But those are among the mistakes. Most of the mistakes that I've made are somewhat small because, unlike a radio or TV play-by-play announcer or analyst, I don't have to say that much. I just do the starting lineup. And by the way, I research all my scripts. I come in 2 hours in advance. I read through the scripts. I make sure that I can pronounce every name, even if it's not a ball player. Like if it's somebody throwing out the first ball or a sponsor, I want to know how to say their name right out of respect to them. And I think it's the Phillies' obligation and mine to get it right. And I do.
Yes.
I never miss. Well, I do miss once in a while, once out of every 10,000.
There you go. That doesn't count.
Okay.
Good health, and nobody does it better than you.
Thank you.
All right, real quick, just in case anybody slipped in and we need to go over ground rules. Go see the Emily and Henry, recently married, by the way.
Yes, congratulations.
They're just back from their honeymoon. They missed a little bit of time.
2 shows.
A little bit of time. We're gonna.
Two lectures, but they did take their shirts to Hawaii.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And so grab your 2 free raffle tickets. Dig deep in your pocket for me. All the money tonight goes back to the Pearson Powerhouse family. ALS walk on Saturday. Sunday. I'm sorry.
Walk both days. So the Field family Field and Russell family will be there on Sunday.
My bad. Are we close to the 20 grand? We're zeroing in, right? Is that right? That's awesome.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
Very, very good.
So recently they lost a family member, Mike Pearson, right? I only butchered the little things. I won't forget that gentleman at all. So lost his battle with ALS, and so we're raising money. There's some great items over there. Who wants to go home with a Richie Ashburn autograph? Come on, seriously?
Absolutely.
I mean, Dan, you probably got a great great Whitey story for us.
Well, I'll give you a story that I think is funny, and I hope it doesn't violate any FCC rules or anything.
Kathy's giving you the.
I'm standing in the men's room. Richie Ashburn is standing right next to me. And he says, Dan, you know what I'm doing is against doctor's orders. I said, what's that, Rich? He said, I'm not supposed to lift heavy objects. Okay. All right. Yeah. Another Richie Ashburn story. Richie had a 23-game hitting streak with the Phillies. And somebody asked him what one of the secrets was. He said, well, every night I take my bat home and sleep with it. He said, I've been to bed with a lot of old bats. But
Richie's smiling down on
He
us.
is.
What a great, something, I have to tell you that I learned so much from Harry. You mentioned John.
Yeah.
We might bring up Harry. I admired Harry Callis so much and Richie Ashburn. I never placed myself in their category. They're superstars. But what I tried to emulate is the way that they were so good to fans. They posed for photos. They signed autographs. They paused for conversations. And they always made themselves available and never forgot to thank Phillies fans.
All right, let's pay a little respect to our sponsors, City Distilling, great vodka. They're located right up the street. So if you guys patronize, they've got a nice location. They've got a great product. We've got some sips up here that would be part of our trivia questions that are going to be coming up. I just, again, thank Dagwoods for allowing us every month take care of the gals in the back that are taking care of you. They do a phenomenal job running food and drinks all night for us. They do a phenomenal job. Nikki and Eddie, the owners here at Dagwoods, they do a great job, and I can't thank them enough. I just want to stir the crowd up a little bit because we are back here October 12th.
Yeah.
Why are you biting your nails? We are back here October 12th for our next show. And we're going to follow up Dan Baker with another great Philly legend. Tom Burgoyne is going to join us.
The Fanatic's best friend.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave this glass of vodka for Tom.
So he'll be joining us, and hopefully we can have a whole lot more fun. I'm sure he's got some crazy, wacky stories as well. I don't know about the Whitey story or two. That might be hard to top.
Yes.
But,
I hope I'm not.
No, you're perfectly
I hope I didn't
fine.
offend anybody.
No. It's a school night. And they're all home doing their homework.
Should have heard Mitch Williams.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we had Mitch, so
Yeah,
you're still clean.
Lauren, you want to do a little trivia? What do you think?
You got any questions left?
Good thing I did do a lot of
Then
reading.
we got to do the Maddest Minute.
Yeah, and then we got the Maddest Minute. All right, so Dan already stole my World Series appearances, so we can we'll go with how many All-Star games was he a PA announcer for?
All right.
Got a hand in the back there.
We didn't even go over the ground rules, but we knew what they were.
He's been here before.
Two is correct. Do you know what years?
You know what year?
76.
76 and 96?
That is
That
correct.
is correct. Yeah.
Coming up on 26 and soon as well.
And at the can I tell you an all-star story?
Yeah.
In 1976, I had the privilege for the first time in my life to introduce a president of the United States of America, the Honorable Gerald R. Ford. And at Army-Navy football games, I introduced three more presidents, beginning with President George W. Bush in 2003 at Lincoln Financial Field, and later in 2018 and 2019, President Donald R. Trump. So what a privilege to introduce the president.
Very
nice.
cool.
Very
Another trivia, Johnny?
Another trivia. Let's go with. We'll see if everybody remembers this. Dan is now the longest active public address announcer in Major League Baseball. Who did he? Who was the last one that had the? Okay, you already got your hand raised.
I don't even know what you're asking.
I know because he's already. I'm stumbling because he's already got the answer.
Bill Shepard? Bob Shepard. Bob Shepard.
That is correct.
Yeah, right.
Bob
There
Shepard.
you go. Bob Shepard.
When Bob Shepard retired, following the 2007 baseball season at the age of 97, I took over as the longest tenured active PA announcer in Major League Baseball.
Yes. Yep.
So you can answer with the wrong answer and you still get a prize?
Well, that's because he
Right?
He corrected himself.
corrected himself.
No, but you get one shot.
It was like you said first baseman and then catcher.
Right. It was like
Bob,
Bucky,
Bill,
Montañez.
it's all the same.
It was a minor.
Dan, are you agreeing with this?
Yes, I'm magnanimous. I'll tell you what,
This is nonsense.
the food at Dagwood's pub is so good. My
Oh, yeah.
goodness gracious!
Yeah, the food here. You can come back 20 times and get a different
Oh,
meal,
my
and
gosh.
every meal is better
We
than
we
that.
had the raw combo. We had fried oysters to start off. My goodness, I had the Caesar salad with filet medallions. It's filet shanks. Holy smokes! My goodness, the size of the cow. They must have where they got this from. My wife and I have meals for the next week.
There you go.
But we thank you very much.
And we got one more trivia.
One more trivia. Let's
All
do
right.
it.
So we got what year was Dan Baker inducted into the Big Five Hall of Fame?
Whoa. They're all baseball people, Dan.
Yeah.
Come on, I have a lot of great basketball friends from the Northeast.
Come on.
Larry Cannon out of Lincoln High School and LaSalle College. George Suter out of Father Judge and LaSalle. Lou Peltzer out of Archbishop Ryan and St. Joseph's.
We got a hand. This is definitely a guess.
82.
That is incorrect. Not even the right decade.
What year was he inducted into the Big Five?
Big Five Hall of Fame. Oh, we got another hand there with the green shirt.
2011.
That is incorrect as well. You're too high. In between. In between.
That's a big
I'll give you a hint.
90.
It was the year after I left the Big Five to move over to Drexel as Director of Broadcasting and Marketing.
The year after an All-Star game.
So let's see if that's on the back of the bio.
I don't think it's there.
Let's see if Wikipedia.
It was after an All-Star game.
97.
That is correct.
Is anything anybody would like? Wow, we got a few hands.
There we go.
Yikes.
I just want to say, I know that Harry Ballas and Whitey certainly, but I absolutely, and I think all of Philadelphia, hold you in that same category. Your voice, to me, is Philadelphia and my childhood, and I think the world of you. And I think everybody in Philadelphia feels the same way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Next.
So I had the privilege of having Dan announce my name, 2018 Fantasy Camp. I believe you pre-recorded everybody's names. That alone was worth the price. So, it's not so cheap to go to Fantasy Camp. That alone was worth it.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Tierney sings "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Thank you, Joe.
Joe, what year did you go to fantasy?
2018.
18?
Yes.
Nice.
I love bringing up her name because, she's the baseball icon in the Phillies organization, as she says. Bonnie Strang.
Okay.
She plays middle infield and
I remember.
yeah,
My
she
team.
she just loves the game.
Everybody knows.
Loves the game. Lauren, what do you got?
Any other questions in the crowd?
Back at the bar, are we missing anybody back there?
So what was some of the experiences you had with all that pageantry and everything to be part
Well,
of that?
For any who've attended a Phillies game at Veterans Stadium or Citizens Bank Park, you know that I love our country and I'm very patriotic. Since the Navy game moved to Lincoln Financial Field from Veterans Stadium, and of course, prior to that, Kennedy Stadium, on the site of what is now the Wells Fargo Center, I have had the privilege of doing the Army-Navy game whenever it's in Philadelphia. And, every year, there's always that wonder, be coming this year, and he doesn't come every year, of course. And but on 3 occasions, I had the privilege of announcing the chief executive, and to see all of the midshipmen and cadets in that stadium, and the good sportsmanship that's exhibited by both teams. I just always root for a close game.
Right.
I don't want anybody to be embarrassed, but it's been a big honor for me to announce the Army-Navy game. And I would also like to put in a plug for a couple of locals. I also had the privilege in 1976 of doing the PA announcing for Temple football. I have filled in on occasion and done PA announcing for Villanova football. I did the Temple football radio play-by-play from 1977 through 1983 on WCAM and WWDB. And I did the radio play-by-play for Penn football from 1987 to 1989. Co-hosted the Army football highlights from West Point from 1984 through 1986. So I've really enjoyed doing college football. I've done a lot of the Philadelphia. Anybody remember the Philadelphia Blazers of the WHA?
Yeah.
I did their PA at the Civic Center and was the color analyst on television. In fact, I remember when Don Iannarelli, who was the senior vice president, asked me if I wanted to do the color. He said, "Do you know hockey?" I said, "Do I know hockey?" I didn't know hockey from the wall, but I wasn't going to miss that chance, So I took a whole bunch of hockey books and secluded myself in our bedroom for a few days and just read to try to make sure that I could give a good job, and I was so grateful for the opportunity.
John, did you get a picture of the program that Brian Maloney had brought in, or?
No, he said he was going to send it to you, but I guess.
Yeah, gentleman that comes in our store has an old program that you're in back in '72, Blazers program. So we were kind of having some fun with that, and we wanted to get your insights. We wanted to talk Philly sports, right?
Please.
Besides the Phillies,
Yeah.
right? The Eagles, the Eagles took us down Broad Street. We're waiting on the Flyers, and they're getting a lot of heat these days. Do you think it's? Do you think we should be a little bit more hands-on with them and kind of give them a little bit of a break?
Well, I root, as Mr. O'Brien pointed out, and over here, I root for all the Philadelphia teams. You see that nice story in the paper today about the Sixers' new arena that will be at 10th and Market within the next 10 years. Very happy for that, in downtown, and I think that's going to help Center City a great deal for that to happen. But I root for the Sixers to win the NBA championship every year, for the Flyers to win the Stanley Cup. My dear friend Lou Nolan, who I know is close to your Havertown, does such a great job. And he has also announced for 50 years with the Philadelphia Flyers, and he is a great announcer. The Union. I root for the Union soccer, all the high schools, colleges, and what a great sports town we
Oh, yeah.
live in.
Very, very,
Yeah, we're
very
so
diverse.
lucky.
Like you said, with everything. You got, the soccer. We got 5 for 5. Plus the high school and the colleges.
Yeah.
There's a lot here. You had mentioned it about how much you appreciate America and stuff, but you were also a part of a big thing in baseball after 9/11 when they came back. And that how special that was. Do you have any big moments about that? And
Well,
I know Harry Callis had everybody in tears
oh my gosh,
with his speech,
Yeah.
prior to the game. On that.
Harry was brilliant. I remember Larry Boa,
Larry
tears
Boa, yep.
streaming down his face that night.
Mhm. I don't think there was a dry eye in the. My wife and I, Jen, we were there at the game and when they first came back, and I don't know that there was a dry eye in the crowd that day.
Including mine.
Right.
It was a great night. What a day, 9/11. Of course, we just
celebrated, yeah.
we just, had that anniversary of that date. Another one of those infamous dates. And it seems to me like there's a lot of division in our country right now. I hope that we could put differences aside and come together and support each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But was there like a special moment in that game that you hold on to?
On the field before the game when they're lined up, and
Yeah,
Larry was the Phillies manager at the time, and he's got tears streaming down his face. It was so touching, and listen, I was at the ballpark when Saddam Hussein was captured, and the fans are yelling USA, USA.
Yeah, that was,
oh man, I was ready to open up the mic and start yelling on the mic. Yeah,
I think that day you would have been okay with that.
Lauren, before we close out, what do you got?
All right, so we have our Maddest Minute, which is basically just like quick questions that you'll just have like one quick answer to.
Okay.
As we close this out. So, favorite Phillies player name to announce?
Number 12, second baseman, Mickey Morandini.
There you go.
Your favorite Phillies team?
1980 and 2008.
Do you have a favorite non-Philadelphia team? And no is an acceptable answer.
Well, I'm a big fan of Aaron Boone, whose dad, Bob, was the catcher on the 1980 World Series champions. And so I guess the New York Yankees might be my favorite out of the but I don't consider myself a Yankees fan or anybody else's fan. I'm a Philadelphia fan. I root for every Philadelphia team with all my heart. How about Rowan University? Can I root for them?
There you go.
Milton, my alma mater.
Would you like first a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Thumbs up.
Would you consider yourself a good cook?
No, but the good cook in my family is here tonight. My wife, Kathy.
That's why she giggled at the question.
Good answer, Dan. Good answer.
And what Philadelphia team do you think will be the next one to win a championship?
I'll tell you what, I think this year's Eagles has a shot. I think the 76ers have a shot. And the Phillies are on our way. I don't know if we can do it this year, but there's a lot of good to go. And look what's happening with our prospects. Andrew Painter and Mick Abel, pitchers. Johan Rojas, center fielder, coming along. Dave Dombrowski has done a super job. John Middleton as managing general partner. We have a great front office. Dave Buck as CEO is doing a great job. And I'm telling you, the Phillies are in good hands. And you're about to see a string of postseason appearances like you did in the mid 70s and like you did from 2007 to 2011. That's what I think.
Very cool. Very cool.
That's what we want to hear.
Hey, real quick, we do the raffle prizes at 8 o'clock. There's still time to get in. Again, all the money's being donated to the Pearson family. We've also got these awesome custom photos autographed by our guest tonight. Make a donation, see Lauren. You can take one home with you for your collection. This is the only place you can get them. So it's here at Dagwood's tonight. So again, I want to thank Dan Baker, 50 years coming out here to Dagwood's. This is a great.
Don't forget this vodka. I'm going to drink a toast to you. Thank you.
I can't say it any better. I couldn't do the introduction and I can't do the closing, so I'm not even going to try. Guys, it's been great. I hope you all enjoyed it. We're back October 12th with Tom Burgoyne, the friend of the Fanatic. I'm sure we're going to have a whole lot more stories.
Absolutely.
So come out, hang with us. We're This Fan's View. You can follow us. There's enough literature and whatnot on the tables. So please sign up, follow us, and partake in the auction because there's some great items over there, and somebody's going to take them home.
Yep. And if you enjoy fantasy football, sign up. We have a fantasy football contest every goes all year long. So get in and get your votes in and your team selections and have fun with it this year.
Let's give a big Dagwood applause.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, everybody.